We are 44 days away now. 44, just 44 days. 44 is half of 88. Trump, we're 44. Just 44 days away from the big one, from November 5th. And yeah, 44 days. 66 days ago, we started the countdown at 110 days to go. And we're just 44 days away now. An announcement for you before we get into the show. So I've been mentioning my YouTube list, my email list on Substack. It's free to join. A lot of you are on there, and thank you for joining. Hey Kim. But I'll be likely doing an important announcement this week on my Substack, on my email list. And if you want to be the first to hear about it, I would suggest that if you haven't already done so, subscribe to my free email list. You'll also get numbers there and decodes on there. So I do what I can in the shows here on the video, but there's a lot more numbers that I have. So I'll give you pieces of that on the newsletter, on the email list. So hey Bobby, Frida, Prince of Power Johnson. Hey Kathy. So yeah, so get on the email list, on the newsletter, email newsletter. It's the second link below. The first one is the Shungite Orgonite. People are getting that Shungite Orgonite. Add them together. It's 206, which comes to quantum physics, and it also comes to the film I watched last night after. So I was watching the Batman trilogy, the Nolan trilogy, and when I did the show last night 45 days ago, I watched Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. I then did the show with you guys, then I went in to see the third film, which was The Dark Knight Rises, and The Dark Knight Rises comes to 206, which comes to quantum physics, and it comes to Shungite 103, Orgonite 103. So click the link below and get your Shungite and Orgonite, and also get on the email list. Okay, so 44 days to go. So I put in the title, is being an ANON a calling? And I would say yes, it is. I'd also say that people that you guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, behind the screen are also called as well, because you wouldn't be here. And I'm sure in your own way, you're telling people, trying to wake up the masses. But being here, you're a part of the calling as well. So the word ANON comes to 44. The word faith comes to 44. The word hope comes to 44. So when we have faith plus hope, comes to 88, which is Trump. Also mask. That's a big feature in the Christopher Nolan films. In all of his films, there's usually a mask. And we went through the mask stage in 2020, and for two and a half, 3 years or so. And I've seen them kind of creeping back, and they might come back for maybe a very brief period. But I also think there will be a real revealing, a removal of the mask. But it's interesting that the word mask comes to ANON. And then there's that one, anonymous. People get them kind of blurred with Q and Q, it's Q. And then there's anonymous. But the word ANON is 44, which is mask. And anonymous has a lot of that imagery to do with Guy Fawkes. That's what their mask, or his mask, is based upon. And obviously Guy Fawkes is 11/5, which is November 5th. So that's, yeah, so there you have it. And a reminder, if you didn't realise, Nessun Dorma is 143, November 5th, 143. Now there's a phrase, it's a scriptural phrase, and it's calling and election made sure. Now I knew this phrase from growing up, and I'm independent of that now, but I know the codes, I know the numbers, and all things in my life have been colours in the palette that I paint with to paint the picture and show you guys and girls the Great Awakening and how it's unfolding. So calling and election made sure. So we know there's an election that needs to be made sure. The word calling is 58, which is Nessara. It's Ivanka, and it all started with Ivanka. Well, it started before, but that's a line in the sand. When I met Ivanka, she activated me for sure. 58 is star. 58 is also calendar. So you could look at that as calling an election made sure, 246, which comes to yes, the 5th of November. So the election will be made sure, whether we have a 2024 election or the 2020 gets restored. We'll see how they all do that. But then there's a lot of thinking about the calendar. And you've got, they say we're on the Gregorian calendar, which is 94, Gregorian November. Julian calendar, Julian is 67, which is reset, to exchange water, watch the Julian. But Julian calendar is 125, dark to light, time travel, 8th Avenue, John Kennedy. And some will say that there's a 13-day period. But then there's others as well in the calendar. So if you look at September 11th, but September, Sept, that's 7, it's not 9, it's Sept. Oct is 8, it's not 10th month, it's 8. And then Nov is 9, or derivative of that, a suffix of that. And then 10 is Dec, December, which is the 12th month. So maybe there's a 2-month period, I don't know. I'm not sure, I'm open to whatever's coming. But something is coming. Reset the calendar is 192. The Celestial Kingdom 192. Ivanka Marie Trump 192. John G. Trump is George. So George Trump is 192. Queens, New York is also 192. President Trump was born in Queens. He was born in Jamaica Hospital 138. Revaluation 138. The Arcturian 138. The Savior 138. Donald Trump 138. The Gold Reset 138. The Gold Julian, perhaps. The Gold Exchange 138. And then there's also Governor's Island, which is 192 as well, which is not far from Queens, New York. And Governor's Island had Steve Bannon and the guy from the Chinese Republic on Obama's birthday to kind of just to kind of troll in 2020 on August 4th? I think that's his birthday. Yeah, Barack Obama 68 clones with an S, plural. And if it is 84, then that would be vampire. Yeah, August 4. It's also arrows, it's other ones as well, good ones. So if it's someone's birthday, don't worry about it. Yeah, Governor's Island. So they, in front of the Statue of Liberty, on that kind of jetty bobbing around, they announced the new millennium. They talked about peace on Earth for 1,000 years, and that was the Chinese, the breakaway group. Or behind the scenes, lots of things have been done or going on. And they declared that in 2020, the millennium, basically. And in case people aren't sure, the numbers for coronavirus comes to 155, comes to singularity, a good singularity. That comes to the millennium. So the millennium, 155, comes to singularity, comes to coronavirus. That's why. The coronavirus is 188. President Kennedy, Close Encounters, Show Me the Money, Jesus of Nazareth, 188. Another word as well for November 5th, 143, comes to the word translation. And I think I've done that once before. Don't know if I've said it publicly, but 143 comes to the word translation. And what triggered me into that, to find that today, was I was sharing it with a friend. So the other day I mentioned about Nessun Dorma, 143. And then No One Sleeps is the translation. So from Italian to English, and if you do Italian, 66 Corona, think of all the things that happened with the north of Italy and Rome, etc., in the beginning of the pandemic, and then you add the word English, 74, that comes to 140. So 66 plus 44 comes to Gematria event, happy Gematria, comes to 140, Tom numbers. The trumps, the quantum, the DeLorean. Sorry, the DeLorean. No, it'd be more than that. The trumps, though, the trumps, the quantum, the atonement, the military, the currency, the RV exchange, 140, Tom numbers, 140. Hey, Heidi. It's just made me think of that TV show, Heidi, out in the Alps. Should be great. Just enjoy that. We got 107 in the chat. See, 107, which is quantum, currency, trumps. 39 is angel. Thumbs up. So yeah, but translation 143. So the translation of the word, so of the two words, Nessun Dorma 143, November 5th. But then the question is, which November 5th? It's this November 5th. It's this one. But we know that because No One Sleeps comes to 139, which comes to 11/5, which is November 5th, which is Twitter. And then you need to add an X, which is 24, the year 2024. So 24 plus 24 plus 115, 11/5. I said hello, Juan. Yeah, sorry, not literally. He's not in the chat. Literally. Well, I don't know. Maybe he is. But 107, 107 was the number of followers in the chat. 112 now. So victory, Star Trek. But yeah, so if you do No One Sleeps, that comes to 139, which comes to transition, comes to Christopher, as in Christopher Nolan, comes to money exchange, angel reversal. So we're going to have divine assistance in this reversal. The angel exchange actually would be also 139, but that comes to 11/5, 115. If you put a dash through the middle, you've got 11 for November and then 5, so 11/5. And then when? What year? 24, which is now. And even if you add the 20 for 2024, so you do that, you do 139 plus a 20, because we've missed that one out there, but you can add it if you want. It takes you to 159, which takes you to a week to remember, which comes to John F. Kennedy Jr. 159. There was also one I thought of earlier today about the prestige. What was it? Oh, I only remember. Yeah. So if you do 11/5, November 5th, plus Q 17, that takes you to 132, which takes you to Bridge Street, which is the street that takes you into Parliament Square. Westminster Parliament Square is 355, which is remember the 5th of November. Houses of Parliament comes to 217, comes to Mission Impossible, comes to Diana Francis, comes to Lady Diana Francis Spencer, comes to Tom Sidney Bushnell. Hey Sophia, how are you? But 132 comes to the Prestige, which is a Christopher Nolan film about Tesla. David Bowie plays Tesla in it, and it gives soft disclosure on magic, wizardry, Tesla physics, the other physics, cloning, some other things in there as well. But 132, the Prestige, comes to 11/5, which is November 5th, plus Q17 takes to 132, which comes to Princess Diana, and it comes to JFK Jr. is alive, 132. And the Prestige is known by President Trump because, I've said this before, but during 2020 with Corona, he did this thing about bringing back jobs to American workers, and it was called the Pledge. It's called the Pledge, and he mentioned the Pledge because in the film The Prestige, Michael Caine says there's 3 parts to the magic trick. First of all, the pledge, and then the turn, the trick. But they're not wild enough, you've got to bring it back, which is the prestige. So him and Ivanka were at this table with other people, journalists, etc., and other, I guess people from unions and workers, etc. Said that American jobs are going to come back during the pandemic better than before. And he said, it's the pledge. It's the pledge to the American workers. So that's the first part. Then Ivanka turned her coffee cup, very discreetly but publicly. She turned it. That's the turn. And then the prestige, because then President Trump said, we've got to bring it back. We've got to bring it back. So do you see how this works? So he's saying 11/5, which is November 5th, plus Q, comes to 132, which comes to Princess Diana, which comes to JFK Jr. is alive. And it's a Christopher Nolan film. And he's a white hat director. So you see how all this works, everybody, And what have we got right now? We've got 117 in the chat with 50. So there you go. 117 plus 50 comes to 1, which comes to 167, which comes to 24. And President Trump came down the escalators on the 167th day of the year. And just over there is Old Harry Rocks, which is 167. And we've got 115. It went down to 115, I think it was. Now back to 51. 116, 52. There you go. So the numbers was always telling us. I think it went to 115 for a second and 50. That would be 165, which is other physics, which is resurrection, which is Westminster. Oh, bless you. Thank you. Thank you, Nelly. I do. I have been gifted for sure. And shout out to Cab on Twitter, on X. I did a post on Friday night and I found one of his, he talked about Q, etc. He doesn't do it much about Q, but he kind of did a declaration of where he stands on things. And I like Cab's work. I guess there's maybe a couple of percentage points I'm not sure about, but in general, like with most people's stuff. But I like what he says, so that's why I follow the things he says. And I'm always interested to see what his take on it. But he talked about Q, and he talked about how during that period that starseeds were activated during that period. And I just cut out that bit, highlighted it, tagged him in the retweet, the reply, the quote, and said that's what happened to me with the numbers. And he gave it a thumbs up, and Martin Geddes did. He retweeted it, and a few others. And so that's. But he said that during the time of the Q posts, it coincided with starseeds being activated in their DNA, and I was like, well, that's what happened with me with the numbers. And I'm looking forward to the next activation with other gifts. There are other things that have come along the way as well, with seeing ships and synchronicities which go hand in hand and dovetail with the numbers. Things on time. Yeah, there's other things that have come, but obviously people know me for the numbers. But there'll be other things that are going to get. It'll be like Christmas on November 5th. We'll have other spiritual gifts awakened within us. And you guys and girls will get the same. So you'll get your own gifts. And we've got 133. I think it went from 132, but 133 now in the chat. So, hey, Rooster. So, Rooster from Top Gun 93. Yeah, Bushnell 93. There you go. So, I missed that. It faded out. I just saw we are such and such, Tom, and then kiss. What? Can you repeat your statement and I'll acknowledge it? It looked good, but I couldn't read it. It faded off. Couldn't read the whole thing. So it's coming. So tomorrow we're only 43 days away, and we'll see what transpires this week, and it will be eventful. Thanks, Julie. Yeah. So get your Shungite. Links are below. And get your get on the newsletter. It's free to do on Substack. The link is below, second link down, and I'll be announcing something exciting for you this week, and you'll hear it first there. There you go. We've got 143 in the chat now, which is November 5th, which is the star seeds, so that's appropriate. And yeah. Anyway, Lots of love. God bless. And it's Paul Bushnell 143. I haven't. I need to watch Stranger Things. Hey, Vanessa. I need to watch some of that. I do. It's just getting time to do it. I've been watching Batman. I'll be watching Interstellar, I think, probably tomorrow. Back to the Future 2's getting re-released just for a day on the 21st of October. I did say Back to the Future will get re-released in October. I thought all 3 would come out, but it's just the second one. Hopefully they do all 3, but we'll see. Hey Ray. And hello. Brilliant. Okay, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow. Much love. God bless. We got 141, which is Tom Bushnell, and we got 71 thumbs up. 71 is Psych, Lady Diana. Thank you, Princess. All right. Take care. God bless. Bye.